Hey baes, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Alexandra. On today's video, I'm going to be sharing some of the top secrets to a successful lock journey. I'm just kidding. It's not really secrets, but these are tips and advice that I would give to anyone that is considering starting their lock journey, or let's say you started your lock journey, you're just a few months in and you're like, what the heck am I doing? What am I like to expect? I definitely got you. I have been locked for about 3.5 years. So I feel like at this point, I have a lot of advice that I could offer to anyone. And I have also been creating content and talking and documenting my lock journey since I started my locks in 2022. So there's definitely a lot of great advice and tips and things that I can offer. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into things. And I want to start off by saying that, and I say this all the time, the beautiful thing about embarking on any journey in life is that it is unique to you as the person. So what my journey looks like, my lock journey, personal growth journey, whatever it is through this life, is not going to look like the next person. And that's the beauty in embarking on a journey. And in particular for this video, embarking on a lock journey, is that it is unique to you. It's your journey. No one can experience it for you. Nobody can document it for you. It is your lock journey, right? So that is something that I always encourage people to lean into, that uniqueness, that beauty that does exist with the lock journey itself. And it's really cool when you see your locks go from like the starter lock phase to the budding stage to the teenage stage, and when they're finally mature and they go from like short and they're like in that transition phase of like looking like a 2-strand twist or a comb coil, and then they finally start to look like an actual lock. Like, it's really exciting to see that. It's like watching like a child. It's like watching a baby grow up and mature and go through life, right? And that's really like the cool thing about having locks, is just like it goes through so many stages and you're just right there for it, riding along through all of the different stages that do exist in a lock journey, right? So that is one thing that I actually want to start off with, is to definitely embrace that. Go into it with the right mindset, because it is going to be something that you're going to have to adjust to. Even if you're somebody like myself who has always had natural hair, it was a big adjustment for me to be like, okay, Kat, leave your hair alone. Leave it be. Let it do what it's supposed to do. Like, there was times I was like all up in my hair, like, oh my god, is this really gonna lock? Like, how is my hair supposed to go from looking like this to looking like that, you know? And I eventually just trusted the process and allowed it to be what it may be. And here I am 3.5 years later, and I love my locks down, you guys, okay? So definitely the first advice that I would give is to embrace the lock journey and go into it with a positive attitude and embrace the uniqueness that is going to come with it. All right. The second advice that I would give is definitely make sure that you are starting with the right method that is appropriate for your hair type, your hair texture, your hair length, okay? That is really going to make the journey a little bit easier, because when you know what method is working well for you, and not just what method you're going to start your locks with, but also the best method to maintain your locks with, right? And this is really up to you. Some people choose to, you know, do things such as retwisting. You can interlock. You can also even freeform your hair, right? Where you don't do any maintenance to it, right? But definitely make sure that you are doing your research and educating yourself on what is out there, and then finding a method and a maintenance that is appropriate for you. I don't even want to say just for your texture and your hair type, but also for you and your lifestyle, right? Maybe you don't want to do your hair too often, so maybe you might want to look into interlocking your locks where the maintenance is like every 8 to 12 weeks. Or maybe you kind of are okay with getting your hair retwisted every 4 to 6 weeks, and you don't mind, you know, experiencing a little bit of frizziness with that, right? Or maybe you just want to freeform altogether and just let your hair do its thing. Whatever it is, make sure that you are educating yourself on that. Make sure that you are comfortable with that decision. And also, if you're going to start your locks, I do encourage, even if you are going to self-maintain them, make sure that you also go and have conversations and, you know, consult with a loctician that can just kind of give you advice. There are certain things that are going on like in your hair that you may not always catch, that a loctician can definitely catch for you. And that kind of leads me into the third tip, which is, if you are going to go to a loctician, or if you are going to go to a professional, make sure that you are going to someone that is a professional, right? Who knows what they're doing, who has experience taking care of locks, who does a consultation before they even start your locks. That's a big thing, right? I got my locks started with the loctician. She did a consultation before she even started the locks on my hair. And I actually had my consultation done like 2 or 3 weeks before I went in and got my starter locks installed, right? So she was able to really like do a really deep dive into like my scalp. She was able to point out you know, that I had a little bit of like breakage and thinning in my crown. So that was something she was very mindful of going into starting my locks. She was like, okay, I see this area is a little bit more fragile, it's a little bit more fine than the other areas. I'm going to be very careful with how I manipulate it, but also even how I go about parting that area, right? So that's an important thing too. Make sure that you're going to somebody that knows what they're doing, because they're going to be able to analyze your hair, make sure that how they're starting your locks is appropriate for whatever is going on with your hair, okay? So like I said, for myself, I had some breakage in that crown area. So the loctician who started my hair, she actually made sure that she parted this in a way where it eventually ended up becoming a very thick lock. And I mean, I'm always amazed at how thick and healthy this area of my hair is and how healthy this lock is, because it was definitely suffering from a lot of breakage at the time that I started my locks, right? So that's an important thing. And, you know, making sure that you have those conversations and also sharing any hair issues and concerns that you do have with that loctician so that they are aware going into things. The fourth advice that I would offer, and this is like really important, is to avoid over manipulations. I say this all the time. Locks is a very low manipulation way of keeping your hair. Less is more. The less you keep your hands out of your hair, especially during that starter lock phase, is the more success that you are going to see with your locks down the line. The reason being is that literally for your hair to lock, it's just hairs that are intertwining and tangling around each other. So if you're constantly having your hands in your hair during that starter lock phase, you could be potentially, you know, unraveling those 2-strand twists. You could be unraveling the structure of those comb coils and then just delaying your hair from actually locking over time. Avoid over manipulation. You know, styles are great, but again, be mindful of styles, the frequency in which you're doing it, and also the amount of tension that you're doing with styles, because also that can lead to breakage and thinning, and we just don't want to have to deal with that, right? It does not need to always be like slicked and pulled back and this, that, and the third. Like, you always say like you could just rock your hair as is. Like this right here is a style, right? I had my hair in 2-strand twists for like 2 weeks. That was a low manipulation style that I put into my locks. I unraveled it, and now I'm going to rock this twist out for the next 2-3 weeks, right? Leaving it be. I rarely even pull my hair back. When people see me, 99% of the time, let me not say 99% of the time, I would say like 95% of the time, my hair is down just like this. Every now and then I do a ponytail, and even then I make sure I keep it very loose because I'm just trying to avoid like breakage and thinning over time. So just understand that low manipulation is the best way to go when it comes to your locks. The next thing that I want to also share with you guys is the importance of the products that you use on your locks, and making sure that you're really using products that are appropriate for locks to prevent lock buildup over time. You want to avoid heavy creams and waxes and things of that nature, and really focus more on lightweight water-based products, right? So I share with you guys that I do use a cream-based conditioner on my locks, but I only use that during the winter months because my hair is very prone to dryness during the winter months, right? Not so much now because I moved to Atlanta a year ago, but I'm from New York, and the wintertime in New York, like the air is dry. Like your hair is like screaming for moisture and hydration. So I use a cream-based conditioner on my locks during the winter months, and even then, and I have videos on my page, you'll see that I kind of just rake it on top of my locks. I'm not like squeezing it in, and I, you know, let it sit for just like 5 to 7 minutes, and then I rinse it out, right? But during the spring, summer months where the weather is a lot more warm, dryness is not an issue, I use a water-based conditioner. So the only time you'll ever see me using a creamy texture product on my hair is during the winter months, and that's when I'm conditioning my hair. But outside of that, you don't need to be using creamy leave-in conditioners in your hair, waxes, or lotions of that nature, because you want to avoid product buildup over time. So definitely get used to using water, rose water, water-based leave-in conditioner sprays, things like that. And of course also oils, as well as what you're going to use to keep your hair hydrated and sealing in the moisture. Definitely also incorporate clarifying and moisturizing shampoos into your routine. I use a clarifying shampoo on my hair every time I am going to retwist my locks, right? So I generally retwist my locks every like 4 to 6 weeks. So anytime I know I'm going to retwist my hair, I use a clarifying shampoo. In between my retwist, I use a moisturizing shampoo. And again, that kind of just helps to give me balance of keeping my hair moisturized, but also, again, preventing product buildup by using that clarifying shampoo. Your locks do not need to feel heavy or weighed down. And that's even with the lock gels that you use. If you are using a lock gel that is just giving you that like stiff, sticky, tacky feeling, get rid of it. Your hair should be like lightweight and effervescent. It should be flowing like a feather, okay? So prioritize hydration and moisture, but prioritize things that are going to be water-based, that is going to give you hydration without weighing your hair all the way down. And the last advice, the last secret that I would give to anyone is to make sure that you document your journey. And this is so important because there are going to be times throughout this journey, especially in that first year, that year and a half, 2 years in, where you're going to be looking at your hair like, ugh, like, is my hair really progressing? Like, is it locking? Like, I feel like it's not growing. I feel like I'm not seeing progress. Document, okay? I remember when I hit like my 1 year lock journey, and in particular, probably like around months like 13, 14, 15, year and a half being locked, I felt like my hair was not growing. I definitely could see that my hair looked like locks. You know, by the time I hit like my 1 year lock journey, my 2-strand twist pattern was pretty much gone. But the months after that, I just felt like my hair was not growing in length. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, by the time I hit my 2-year anniversary, I was like, okay, we getting somewhere. We getting somewhere. And now I'm 3.5 years in. And, you know, I did cut my hair into this bob kind of style earlier this year. And I can say, even with comparing my hair to the beginning of this year to now, my hair has grown. But also my hair is very full. It's very thick. And so sometimes progress doesn't always look like length. Sometimes it looks like your hair is getting thicker. Your locks are getting thicker. There's a lot of volume to it. It's feeling a little, like you got a little movement to it, right? And that's things that you wouldn't necessarily notice before if you weren't taking progress pictures beforehand, and something for you to compare it with. So definitely document your journey. You know, you want to be able to look back on your locks and be like, wow, like that's really where my hair came from. Just like with any other journey, like look how far I've come, look how far my hair has come. So that is all the secrets, tips, advice that I would give to all of you beautiful people out there that are looking to start your journey with your locks. It really is an amazing journey. Anyone that is like unsure about it, definitely make sure that you know, use some of the advice that I gave in this video to help you make your decision, and also just advice from other creators as well. You know, don't use it as a point of comparison, because comparison is the thief of joy, but use it as an opportunity to really educate yourself, but also as an opportunity for you to be like, okay, like the girl, like if she could do it, I could do it too. Like she's beautiful with her locks, I can be just as beautiful with my locks too, right? And again, it's not comparison, it's just embracing this beautiful, beautiful crown that you have in a way of wearing it. And locks are truly, truly beautiful, and embracing the journey that comes with it too, okay? So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, you guys. Show some love in the comments, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.